Realistically speaking, if there's one place that we're going to learn about the collapse of a house and the resident dying, then surely it's going to be the Watch. They should have some sort of report. But we are speaking to Nobby here.
Hello again.
Hello.
I don't suppose you know a troll named Malachite.
Not Mount Malachite.
Describe him.
Big, tall, stupid, not very talkative.
That's the one.
He went down for theft years ago. I seem to remember he had an accomplice.
An accomplice?
Yeah, he denied it, but we all thought he was working with someone.
I don't reckon he was the brains of the outfit. What happened?
He escaped. Not that long ago either. As far as I know, he's on the lam. Why? You've seen him?
No. Just interested. Have you heard of a singer called Therma?
Never heard of her.
Have you ever heard of a troll by the name of Madame Lodestone?
Madame Lodestone? No, there's a name I've not heard in quite a while.
You know her then?
Well, no, but I've heard of her. She died in some sort of construction mishap.
A mishap, Nobby.
Whatever. Anyway, if memory serves, they put her body in the Salacei mausoleum. Don't know how she ended up in such an exclusive establishment, but that's how I heard it.
That doesn't sound very likely.
You did ask.
Catch you later, Nobby. Like measles, maybe. Or athlete's foot.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it's implied that Nobby is actually a child of some rich and noble family. It's been a while since I last read a Discworld book, so I could be wrong.
The Salacei family mausoleum was one of the most beautiful buildings I'd ever seen, nestled in an upmarket part of the city of Ankh. It was unguarded because, quite frankly, no one in their right mind would do anything to offend the Salacei family, given their ties to the Assassin's Guild. It wasn't just something that wasn't done, it was also something that wasn't survived.
So how did Firma end up here? I guess we'll find out, but still.
The central atrium of the mausoleum opened up so that you could see the sky. I guess on some nights it must have been quite a beautiful sight. But this wasn't one of those nights. I liked the sky as much as the next man, but it wasn't exactly something I could pick up and put in my pocket. The Salacei family mausoleum was full of tombs. More chambers, annexes, vaults, sepulchres, and catacombs than a thesaurus. I tried to find Therma's grave, but it was a waste of time. You'd need to be an expert in heraldry or genealogy to even begin to navigate around it. I'll say this for the nobility: they keep their dead well indexed.
Alright, so we have exhausted most of our leads so far, but there is someone waiting for us at the Cafe Ankh. Well, they're not waiting for us, but we know they're there.
You can't recall if the whiskey knocked you flat, or if
I thought I told you never to Elsa. I thought I would never see her again. I prayed that I'd never see her again. But either the gods didn't listen, or they were having a laugh at my expense. Knowing the gods of the Discworld, I had a pretty good idea which. Play it again, Sam. You know what?
No one's ever going to believe you said that.
Hello, Elsa. How long's it been?
Too long.
That's funny. I was thinking that it wasn't long enough.
Aren't you pleased to see me?
Sure. Like a jellyfish praying for the tide to come in.
What's that supposed to mean?
If I always knew what I meant, I'd be a genius.
Back then, you always knew what to say.
I still know what to say. I just choose not to.
You're getting a big kick out of making me feel cheap, aren't you? Well, maybe I had it coming.
Hey, don't take my side. You'll take all the fun out of it. I spent years rehearsing what I'd say if I saw you again. What I'd ask you. I tried to imagine what you'd say.
But now I'm here. You can't think of anything to say?
Now you're here, and I just want to slap you. Just once. Across the cheek.
What will that prove?
That I still haven't forgiven you.
You're not making this easy, Luton.
Did you think I would? Did you think I'd just come bouncing up to you like a trained puppy? Maybe I'd wag my tail and wait for you to throw me a stick. Well, I'm never going to be another woman's dog for as long as I live.
That's cruel.
Not as cruel as the day you left me.
Wow, Luton. I know that she may have broken your heart, but there's no need to threaten her with violence. Well, it was less of a threat, but still.
What made you ask for that song?
I was feeling sentimental.
It's good to know that you still remember me.
How could I forget?
I don't know. But you managed to leave. I figured you'd probably manage to forget as well.
Never.
I tried to forget you. I tried to forget the day you left. I tried to forget the good times. I tried to drown your memory in cheap whiskey.
And did you forget?
I don't remember.
I still remember you. That's what the song means to me. It's everything that's good about our time together.
You got lucky, Elsa. You got all the good memories, and I got all the bad.
It didn't have to be like that.
It's always like that. I suppose you have some explanation for what you did. Some pat excuse that'll make everything all right.
There's no excuse for what I did.
At least we agree on one thing.
Why do you hate me so much?
Because I had everything when I had you. And when you left, you took everything with you. It's easy to hate someone who took it all away from you.
It hurts to hear you talk like this.
Good.
Wow, that's harsh. I don't believe that Elsa will know anything about the Firma case.
Tell me one thing, Elsa. Are you involved in these murders?
What?
The murders. They started when you arrived in town.
I can't believe that you would think such a thing. That's terrible. I mean, I know I've done some bad things, but I've never killed anyone in all my life.
Just checking. So, you came in on the Milka, did you?
Yes.
Alone?
No, I came with a companion.
It figures.
What?
Women like you are never alone.
I've been alone.
You know nothing about loneliness. You know nothing about what it's like to not know why you've been abandoned. You don't know what it's like to watch your career slip away because the one thing you care about has been taken from you. You don't know what it's like to spend years going into restaurants and asking for a table for one.
You don't eat in restaurants.
Okay, but if I did, that's what I'd ask for.
Why did you ask about the Milka?
You came aboard in Ecclepon, right? With a man.
Yes, his name's Two Conkers. How did you know?
It's my job to know.
You're being paid to find out where people board ships?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Well, that answers that question. Elsa and Two Conkers. There's no point asking her about what she's already spoken to us about. And the mysterious passengers is the same line of inquiry about the Milka. So all we have left to ask her about in this notebook is Monday.
Have you met a man named Monday?
Yes, There was a man named Monday on the ship we came in on. He kept himself to himself mostly.
What can you tell me about him?
He seemed nervous.
Anything else?
I remember him going down to the cargo hold at one point. He looked really shifty, as if he was hiding something.
Is that it?
That's all I can think of.
The cargo hold, you say? Maybe she might know something about these labels and... maybe not this scrap, but hopefully this label.
Can you read this?
Yes, it says Pier 5.
What language?
Agatean.
How do you know an obscure language like that?
Actually, 2 conquers is from the counterweight continent. I learnt it from him.
I thought that people weren't allowed to leave the Agatean Empire.
Oh, things have freed up these days.
I'd be careful who you tell about 2 conquers, Elsa.
Why?
People can be funny about foreigners, and there's always been rumors about the Empire. They say they use powerful magic there. The last time one of them arrived here, the city got burned down.
2 conquers isn't going to burn the city down.
You know that, and I know that. But the average man on the street doesn't know that. They see the unknown as a threat.
Why? 2 conquers is harmless. No one's that stupid.
Let me let you in on a little-known secret. You know how stupid the average person is?
I think so, yes.
Well, statistically, half of them are even dumber than that. I found this on the Milka. Does it mean anything to you?
A piece of cardboard with a number on it?
I think it might have something to do with Monday.
If you've constructed murder and a giant conspiracy out of that, I'm going to be very impressed.
Not yet, but I'm working on it. Don't go far. I might want to shout at you again.
I'm sorry, Luton.
Not sorry enough.
Okay, let's check out this Pier 5. The amount of times I've played this game, and for the first time I'm noticing this glass of blood in the corner here.
The Watchman had a look of mad dedication about him. It was the kind of look that could only be achieved by someone whose job was so mind-numbingly tedious that their only pleasure came from being blisteringly unhelpful to everyone who came along. I take it you're the Watchman for this warehouse?
Wow, you're sharp. People never work that out. I mean, there are so many reasons that I might want to be out here on a pier in the middle of nowhere, but you went straight to the fact that I'm a watchman. Well done.
That's a real talent you've got there. It usually takes me much longer to take a dislike for someone. Let me guess. Not only are you the watchman for this warehouse, but you are so bored that anyone who comes along is a target for abuse.
You're good, I'll give you that. Sharp as a pancake. What brings you here?
Research. I'm on an investigation.
You with the watch?
No, I work alone.
So you're a criminal.
This is Ankh-Morpork. We're all guilty of something.
I'm not. Pure as the driven snow.
Oh, yeah? Well, you've just directly violated the patrician's laws about groundless metaphor.
What?
Well, can you prove to me that you're as pure as snow?
Ah, but that wasn't a metaphor. That was a simile.
Because, of course, the patrician is going to be swayed by a pedantic defense like that.
I guess you have a point.
Well, seeing as we are at the pier, well, Pier 5, we should probably avoid Anything to do with the Furman case?
Heard of the Milka?
Sure. Put it in my coffee,
It's a ship.
Yeah, I know. Just winding you up.
Well, I'm already about as tightly wound as I'm going to get. Unless you were planning to use me as an alarm clock, I'd start thinking about being cooperative.
Where's the fun in that?
The Milka?
Oh, yeah. All I can tell you is that they unloaded their cargo here.
What was their cargo?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. That'd be violating Watchman cargo confidentiality.
There's no such thing.
Oh, all right. I just don't want to tell you then. Satisfied?
Ecstatic. When I gave Mundy's description to the Watchman, he became animated. Well, not that animated, but more animated than he had been.
That's the one. He tried to break into the warehouse the other night.
You're sure?
Or maybe I just like stringing you along for fun.
What happened?
I scared him off. I'd like to know where he is now, though. It doesn't look good to have people get away with breaking into a place like this. Bad for our reputation.
Oh, I'm sure. Because everyone respects you, and this would just put a total stop to all those dinner party invitations.
Oi, watch it.
That's pretty much all that we're going to get out of him.
Do you know anything about the recent murders in Ankh-Morpork?
That's nothing to do with me.
I have a feeling I'll see you later.
I can't wait.
The doors led into the warehouse itself, but the Watchman wasn't about to let me in. If it wasn't for the Watchman, I could probably get in through the doors. As it was, I needed another plan. I couldn't tell what the crates contained, and frankly, I didn't much care. I couldn't carry the crates even if I wanted to.
I'm fairly certain that the first time I played this game, I missed this area completely.
The River Ankh. Probably the only river in the universe on which you could chalk the outline of a corpse. I'd already had to dive onto the Ankh once. I wasn't about to do it again.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't until I found a walkthrough where I actually discovered this place even existed. It is fairly important because of this.
The skylight sat on the roof, an inviting alternative entrance. I wasn't the Disc's greatest climber, and the warehouse wasn't the easiest building to scale. I was going to need some help.
Maybe if we had some sort of hook attached to a string or rope. You know, something that can grapple. Where can we find something like that? Well, where do we go now? Maybe we should head back to the office to regroup. Who knows, there might be someone waiting there for us. No. But there is a note.
The note had been pushed under my door by Carlotta.
Luton, I am anxious to see you again and to find out how the case is going. Come to the von Uberwald mansion on Moon Pond Lane. Carlotta von Uberwald.
So, Carlotta was a member of the von Uberwalds, one of the richest and most reclusive families in Ankh-Morpork. That explained why she could afford to offer to pay me so much. It didn't explain why she hadn't got around to paying me yet, but I could wait, at least until the rent was due. I already had a bad feeling about the Mundy case. But learning that my employer was a von Uberwald didn't fill me with confidence. I didn't know the facts about the von Uberwalds, but the rumors were bad enough.
May I help you, sir?
You could let me in for a start.
Very good, sir.
And don't call me sir.
As you wish, sir. May I take your coat and hat, sir?
Thanks, but no. I feel naked without them.
That must make it difficult to clean them.
Was that a joke?
I never joke, sir. It's not my job. I may lie, dissemble or deceive, but I never joke.
Look, I don't want you to take my coat, okay?
But of course, sir. Sir is welcome to drip all over the immaculate hardwood floor that I spent several hours polishing this morning, because Sir is a guest, and Sir is entitled to do whatever Sir wishes.
Was that a massive stained glass window that we saw outside? One of a wolf, maybe?
Nice house.
Sir's taste in architecture must be quite exquisite, to so accurately summarize the many splendid cornices and archaic stained glass frescoes of this splendid Lorenzian building as nice.
You have a gift for making people feel welcome, don't you?
One is blessed.
Do you know anything about the recent murders in Ankh-Morpork?
I don't know anything about any murders, sir.
How convenient. Now, we're not going to get much out of the butler, but I'm sure he will know something about his employee.
So what do you make of Carlotta, then?
Sir?
Carlotta von Uberwald. She does live here, doesn't she?
Indeed, sir. Sir is as dogged in his pursuit of the truth as he is determined to warp the incalculably valuable hardwood floor by his persistent dripping.
You're not going to give up on this hardwood floor thing, are you?
As ever, Sir is both astute and incredibly stubborn.
What about Carlotta?
She is also quite astute and most definitely stubborn.
What do you think about her, then?
I am not paid to form opinions, sir, merely to perform menial actions such as guarding the hardwood floor, a task I am, alas, failing in at the current time.
Will you shut up about the hardwood floor?
As Sir wishes. I will no longer mention how Sir is irrevocably damaging timber felled by the hand of the 77th Earl of Ankh. Boards that have lain here for longer than Sir has been alive, and that were first laid before Sir's father was even a glint in the eye of his grandfather, whomsoever that may have been.
Yeah, we're not going to get much more out of him than this. But he's not going to let us in without a reason, so the invitation will definitely help here.
I have an invitation from Carlotta.
Ah, Sir is as quick to reach the point of Sir's visit as a tortoise with a war wound is in crossing a very large desert. I will fetch Mistress Carlotta for Sir, provided Sir would be so kind as to wait here and not to touch the valuable and irreplaceable furniture that adorns the room Sir is currently dripping on.
I'll see what I can do. The large wooden doors led back out into the cold and rain. I wasn't that anxious to use them. The painting bore a striking resemblance to Carlotta.
The Duchess Charlotte von Uberwald, née Leopoldine. My predecessor, in a sense.
Oh? Are you a duchess?
No, but the resemblance is impressive, isn't it? My husband was struck by it from the moment I met him.
Where is your husband?
Dear Ulrich passed away during a civil uprising in Uberwald several years ago. Quite a terrible business, actually. Peasants, pitchforks, burning torches, the usual sort of thing.
Usual?
For Uberwald, certainly. Their ways may seem barbaric, but it's just the way things have always been done. If there wasn't a civil uprising every few years, I do believe the nobility would be most disappointed. Dying at the hands of a mob in a burning castle is practically traditional.
Tradition important to you, is it?
Ever the investigator, eh, Luton? Even your employer isn't beyond suspicion.
My old boss used to say that everyone was guilty of something.
And what are you guilty of?
Too many things, sweetie, but nothing you need to know about. You wanted to know how the case was going.
A girl's got to have hobbies.
I think I'm getting somewhere.
We're all getting somewhere, Luton. The question is, am I going to like where you're going?
I guess we'll just have to find that out the old-fashioned way.
That's me, an old-fashioned girl.
Like the girl in the picture.
The Duchess? She was quite a trendsetter in her era. She wore her dress so high, you could almost see her ankles.
My heart is pounding at the thought.
Absolute filth. Ankles? In this day and age?
So what's the story with you and Ulrich?
Do you believe in love at first sight, Luton?
It saves a lot of time, certainly.
Ulrich fell for me the moment we met. I guess seeing that painting every day probably helped.
Don't sell yourself short. You have a few assets of your own. I'm sure it was an equitable transaction.
You think I married him for his money?
Did you?
Let me tell you something, Luton. I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better.
Did you love him?
Does it matter?
It matters to me.
Maybe I did. I guess it depends on what love is.
Love is a moment of weakness that allows someone to hurt you more than you ever thought possible. Men were given the strength to be brutes to women, and women were given love to wreak their revenge.
Who was she, Luton?
Who?
The one who left you with such a high opinion of women. She must have been quite a gal.
I don't have much to tell you about the case, I'm afraid.
You still haven't found Mundy?
Not yet. I might do a better job if I had more money at my disposal.
Ah, yes, of course. You haven't been paid yet.
Well, it had crossed my mind.
I'm sure I could sort something out.
I didn't doubt that she could. The question was, would she? And more to the point, when would she?
Maybe you should have signed some kind of contract before you agreed to this?
What can you tell me about the Duchess?
The Duchess Charlotte von Uberwald. Born Charlotte Ameliorati Victoire Tangerine Leopoldine, she married the Duke when she was 13, which was the style at the time. She was considered a risque dilettante by most of the nobility of Uberwald, and rumors abounded that she caused the heart attack that killed the Marquis of Grandmal when she showed him her naked knees. Her corset was said to be so tight that her first pregnancy went into extra time, and her first and only son had learned his first word by the time he was born.
You're pretty good on this family history business, then.
I dabble.
You wouldn't have anything to do with the recent murders.
Why, Mr. Luton, you must think the worst of me.
I think the worst of everyone. That's my job.
Do you think Mundy could have been murdered?
Anyone could be murdered, but speculation is cheap.
And you're not?
I'm not cheap. I'm a bargain.
Carlotta definitely seems to know her genealogy. But does she know the genealogy of families in Ankh-Morpork?
I need your help.
I'm not hard to get, Luton. All you have to do is ask.
I need your knowledge. I need to find a particular tomb in the Salacei mausoleum, but I don't know enough about genealogy. You do.
The Salacei mausoleum? That could be trouble.
Don't worry. I'm not going to mess with the tombs. I know better than to offend a family whose ties with the Assassin's Guild go back to its very foundation. I just want to see if someone's buried there.
Who's the stiff?
A troll named Therma.
A dead troll? You don't get much stiffer than that, I suppose.
Will you help me or not?
Of course, although I'm not really properly dressed for a mausoleum. You don't mind waiting while I get changed?
It's not like Therma's going anywhere.
If Sarah is not too busy, the master of the house wishes a word with you.
And if I am too busy?
The master of the house still wishes a word with you, and I shall be forced to beg.
That sounds like it could be fun.
Did I say beg, sir? I meant resort to violence.
In which case, lead the way.